Okay, I'm underneath the fire scene right here, and the fire scene is really filled with a lot of intricate little mechanisms to make everything work. This thing that hangs down right here is actually the unit that I built to make the ladder go up, then the man go up, and then the man actually chops. And it uses 3 different motors. It uses a lot of little limit switches, like here. Here's a motor. There's a motor here on the other side, and then there's a motor down here at the very bottom. And the bottom, this little bottom motor is the one that runs the guy that's actually chopping, you know, his arm. And it just uses a series, like I said, of limit switches. That once the unit, the piece gets to a certain spot, it stops, and then it reverses after a time. This unit up in here is actually the part that brings the man up out of the hole, and makes him literally drag the hose back along to where where the water's going to squirt in. And again, it uses 2 motors, one to bring him up out of the hole, and then the other is drives this chain to pull him and the hose back across the yard. This part of the animation for the chopper, the guy going up the ladder, this part, the part over near side, and this wooden piece was added a couple of years after all this was put in here back in 2000. And the reason is because there's a very small limit switch right down here in the very bottom, and it was out in the open, and get a little light on it. And every time, it just seemed like every time I came underneath the layout, I always had to be careful that I wasn't going to run into that little limit switch. And unfortunately, I ran into that limit switch way too many times, broke it off. I'd have to then get all my tools, get them all underneath here, try and repair that little limit switch. So I finally got smart, and I built this with aluminum and piece of wood, nicely sanded off. The corners are nice and rounded. And all that does is it protects that motor, the bottom of the unit, and that limit switch, so that if I'm coming through here at 100 miles an hour on one of these creepers, I don't knock that limit switch off. So that has actually been a nice little lifesaver. But you don't think of those things as you're building, or you don't think of those things even for a while until after you're in the situation, and then it's too late. So that was an afterthought. So this piece up here is the reservoir into which, when the water shoots in, it actually collects into a funnel into here, and then runs down this tube back here to a 2-gallon bucket that has a submergible pump in it. The pump runs, and it actually brings the water up, and the water goes up into this tube and out through this piece here, and then shoots into the fire, or into the house. The chain over here on the side, back up in here, is the fire truck. There's a couple of gears, and you can see where this. I don't know if you can. Hopefully, you can see the sprockets that actually bring the fire truck off the road. You know, and it makes it go off to the side of the road. Like I said, I wanted to add that because I thought that would make a neat little addition. So that's the fire scene. Well, that concludes our Under the Layout tour. If anybody has any specific questions or something they would really like to see, just drop us a note or put it onto our Facebook page, and we'll be more than happy to go underneath, and do some more filming. We'd love to show you what's going on here. But for now, that's it.